One morning, Percy arrived at the quarry to collect some stone for his freight cars. Snow and frost lay thick on the ground. There was not a peep to be heard. Percy ventured further. He found Mavis, the new diesel engine, resting in the shelter of some rock. "Cheer up, Mavis," he whistled. Mavis was still remembering the trouble she had with cars. "Manager says I don't listen to advice. He says I have no business chortling down Toby's line. Toby is a fusspot." "Toby has forgotten more about freight cars than you will ever know," replied Percy. "If you want to please him, you must put the freight cars where he likes them. Then you'll be a really useful engine. Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to take these stones to the harbor." Mavis liked Percy, but she still wouldn't listen to his advice. "Why shouldn't I go on Toby's line?" The cars were in an awkward place. In order to put them the way Toby likes them, she had to make several journeys. She started making a plan. "If we use the teeniest bit of Toby's line," she suggested to her driver, "we would save all this bother." Her driver, suspecting nothing, spoke to the manager about it, who allowed them to go as far as the first level crossing. As the weeks went, the weather changed. And soon the quarry was busy again. Some trains were so long that before she could leave the freight cars for Toby, Mavis had to go beyond the level crossing. This gave her an idea of how to go further down the line without it seeming her fault. "Can you keep a secret?" she asked the freight cars. Yes, they chattered. "Will you bump me at the level crossing and tell no one I asked you?" The cars promised. But while Mavis was away, Toby arrived. He decided to take the cars himself, and the cars decided to bump him anyway. They reached the level crossing and Toby's brakes came on. This was the signal for the freight cars. "On, they yelled. Toby was away, with the cars screaming and yelling behind him. What no one had noticed that the weather change had turned a river into a washing torrent, and the bridge above it was about to collapse. The rails were now like a tightrope across the thundering water. "Stop! Stop!" cried Toby. His driver fought for control. They came nearer and nearer to the bridge. It was all or nothing now. The driver braked hard. Toby stopped, still on the rails, but with his wheels treading the tightrope over the abyss. Mavis was horrified and she quickly came to the rescue. First, she moved the freight cars out of the way. Then she helped Toby. "I'm sorry about the cars," said Mavis. "I don't know how you managed to stop them in time." "Oh well," said Toby. "My drivers told me about circus people who walk on tightropes, but I just didn't fancy doing it myself." Later, Sir Topham had arrived. "A very smart piece of work. Mavis, you did well." "It was my fault about the cars, sir," she puffed. "But if I could..." "Could what?" "Come down the line sometime, sir. Toby says he'll show me what to do." "Certainly," replied Sir Topham Hatt, "if your manager agrees." And so it was arranged. Now Mavis is as happy as can be, taking freight cars up the line, for she is now one in the family.